Hi, this is Alexis from Troublesome Tots. I'm going to do a quick discussion today about what happens at bedtime and how it sets you up for either success, meaning fewer night wakings or no night wakings, or failure, meaning many, many night wakings, or even worse, periods of being awake and unhappy in the middle of the night. So there's two major issues that happen at bedtime that tend to lead to bad times at night. And most people understand that the solution to a better sleep outcome is having a baby who falls asleep independently. So people kind of get that sort of umbrella concept, but there are two major issues kind of in the execution that trip people up. The first one is the concept of drowsy but awake. So, every book ever published says, hey, you've got to put your baby to sleep drowsy but awake. And people get hung up on, well, what does that really mean? Like if they're 99% asleep, but the eyes flutter, does that count? If we try to go too far down the awake path, babies get upset. So people are trying to kind of find this balance between happy, but also awake enough. And my general advice is if you're wondering if your baby is awake enough, chances are the answer is no. Like if you're questioning whether they're awake enough, they're probably not awake enough. However, the real evidence of not awake enough is that the pattern of night waking persists. So, if you have a baby who is sort of asleep, sort of awake at bedtime, and then they wake 5 times during the night and need you to come pat their butt or cuddle or rock or nurse, the answer is they're not awake enough at bedtime. So generally speaking, when in doubt, the answer is no. It needs to be more awake. Unless, however, you have a child who's happily sleeping through the night, in which case, however awake it is sufficient. The other thing I wanted to point out that people really get tripped up on is they work so diligently to break out of the unhealthy sleep association, whatever it is. But they don't see any improvement in the night waking. The 5 times awake, the constant need for butt patting, rocking, nursing, whatever, persist, even though they've fixed what's happening at bedtime. And in that case, again, 90% of the time, the problem is that they might be putting their child to in the bed awake and the child falls asleep independently. But if they're doing whatever the association is near to bedtime, meaning I don't rock my child to sleep anymore, but rocking is part of our bedtime routine. Or I don't nurse my child to sleep anymore, but we nurse just prior to putting her in the crib. Having those things happen near the time when your child falls asleep can create or maintain the established sleep association, even though your child falls asleep independently. So if that is happening, the answer is to separate whatever that thing is, rocking, nursing, cuddling, pacifier, bottle, etc., by 20 minutes from the time your child actually falls asleep. So usually it's a pretty simple matter of just shuffling up your bedtime routine so that that thing is now happening at the beginning. So quick recap. Step 1, if you're wondering about drowsy but awake, the answer is probably you need to go more awake. Step 2, if you're doing all the right things at bedtime and not seeing a change in the night waking behavior, chances are you need to shuffle up the set of activities and the order of the activities that are happening at bedtime so that whatever it is that is your child needs because of a sleep association issue, that is happening earlier in the bedtime process. Hope this helps. Have a good day. Bye.